Discovery. Commander Elena Rivera stood at the observation deck of the Galactic Council's research station Epsilon, watching the swirling nebula outside. After 15 years of humans being part of the galactic community, she still couldn't get over the view. But today, something was different. The usual peaceful scene was interrupted by strange ripples in spacetime that only she could see. "You're seeing them again, aren't you?" Dr. Zax Thor, her Arcturian colleague, asked. His crystalline form shifted colors as he spoke, a sign of curiosity among his species. Elena nodded, trying to find words to describe the impossible. "It's like watching waves in the ocean, but in space itself. Patterns that shouldn't be there." The Arcturian scientist made a sound that might have been a sigh. "Commander, we've run every possible scan. There's nothing there. Perhaps the human mind is simply more susceptible to optical illusions in zero-gravity environments." But Elena knew better. The patterns had started appearing 3 months ago, and they were becoming clearer every day. What began as faint ripples had evolved into complex, dancing formations that seemed to carry meaning. The fact that she was the only one who could see them only made it more frustrating. "Run the quantum resonance scan again," she requested, pressing her hand against the transparent aluminum viewport. "But this time, focus on the subspace frequencies that match human neural patterns." Dr. Zax Thor's crystalline form flickered with skepticism, but he complied. As the station's sensors hummed to life, Elena closed her eyes, letting her mind drift with the patterns she could perceive. They were beautiful, like watching the aurora borealis dance across the northern skies of Earth, but with an underlying structure that felt almost intelligent. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. Elena's eyes snapped open as holographic displays erupted around them, showing readings that sent Dr. Zax Thor into a frenzy of color changes. "Impossible," he exclaimed, his crystalline form now a riot of excited purples and blues. "We're detecting quantum signatures that shouldn't exist in normal space. They're everywhere." Elena smiled. "Not impossible, just invisible to anyone who wasn't looking for them. The patterns I've been seeing. They're quantum communications, aren't they?" Before Dr. Zax Thor could respond, the patterns Elena had been watching suddenly intensified. They began weaving together in increasingly complex formations, like an ethereal dance of light and energy. And then, for the first time, she heard them. Not with her ears, but with something deeper, as if the quantum patterns were resonating directly with her consciousness. The message was clear, though it came not in words, but in pure concepts and emotions. "At last, you can see us, you can hear us. Humanity is ready." Integration. The Galactic Council chamber was in an uproar. Representatives from over 300 species argued in a cacophony of languages as Elena stood before them, trying to maintain her composure. Above them, holographic displays showed the quantum patterns that only humans could naturally perceive, patterns that were now being detected by specially calibrated sensors throughout the galaxy. "This is unprecedented," declared High Counselor Vexra, their bioluminescent tendrils pulsing with agitation. "You claim these quantum signals have always been present, yet only humans can perceive them naturally." "That's correct," Elena confirmed, gesturing to the latest neural scans displayed behind her. "Our research team has discovered that the human brain contains unique neural structures that resonate with quantum frequencies. We believe it's an evolutionary adaptation, though we don't yet understand why humans developed it." A Meridian representative rose, their crystalline form catching the light. "And these entities communicating through quantum patterns, they claim to be the original architects of the galaxy. They call themselves the Quantum Chorus," Elena explained. "They exist in a state between normal space and quantum reality. They've been watching us, all of us, waiting for a species that could bridge the gap between classical and quantum existence." The chamber erupted again, but this time it was Dr. Zax Thor who stepped forward to support Elena's claims. His crystalline form had taken on the deep blue of scientific certainty. "Our findings are irrefutable," he announced. In the 3 months since Commander Rivera's initial contact, we've documented over 1,000 distinct quantum communications. The patterns show clear signs of intelligence and purpose. More importantly, we've discovered that approximately 15% of humans can be trained to perceive these signals, with another 30% showing latent potential. Elena activated a new holographic display, showing the quantum training facility they'd established on Station Epsilon. Dozens of humans worked with alien scientists, learning to interpret and respond to the increasingly complex quantum patterns that filled the space around them. We're just beginning to understand what this means, Elena continued. The quantum chorus has been trying to communicate with corporeal species for millions of years. They say they have knowledge to share, secrets about the fundamental nature of reality that could transform our understanding of the universe. And they chose humans. The skepticism in High Counselor Vexra's voice was clear. The youngest spacefaring species in the Council. Perhaps, suggested Dr. Zaxthor, that is precisely why they were chosen. Humans have not yet become set in their understanding of the universe. Their neural plasticity, their ability to adapt and perceive patterns where others see chaos, these are the very traits needed to bridge the quantum divide. As if in response to his words, the quantum patterns in the chamber intensified. Elena felt them resonate with her consciousness, and she wasn't alone. Other humans present in the chamber straightened, their eyes widening as they too perceived the message being conveyed. "They're speaking now," Elena announced, her voice hushed with wonder. They say they'd waited eons for a species that could serve as interpreters between realms of existence. But they also say we don't have much time. Something is coming. A convergence of quantum and classical reality that could either elevate all sentient life or lead to its extinction. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity, barely a footnote in galactic history, suddenly held the key to communication with entities that had witnessed the birth of the galaxy itself. "How long do we have?" Vexra asked, their earlier skepticism replaced by concern. Elena closed her eyes, focusing on the quantum patterns that danced through her consciousness. When she opened them again, her expression was grave. 6 months, she answered. They say the convergence begins in 6 months, and if we're not ready. She let the sentence hang unfinished, but everyone in the chamber understood the stakes. The next few weeks saw the largest cooperative scientific effort in galactic history. Research stations across the galaxy began training programs for humans with quantum perception abilities. Elena found herself at the center of it all, working to understand both the gift her species possessed and the messages the quantum chorus was trying to convey. But as humans became more attuned to the quantum patterns, troubling questions emerged. Why had humanity evolved this ability? What was the true nature of the coming convergence? And perhaps most importantly, what would it cost to bridge the gap between realities? Crisis. The first sign that something was wrong came from the Quantum Research Facility on Proxima Centauri II. Elena was reviewing training protocols with a group of newly discovered quantum-sensitive humans when the emergency alert came through. Commander Rivera, Dr. Zaxthor's holographic form, materialized in the center of the room, his crystalline structure showing patterns she'd never seen before, ones that spoke of deep disturbance. We're detecting massive quantum distortions throughout the sector. The patterns, they're breaking down. Elena felt it before she saw it on the instruments. The usually harmonious quantum patterns surrounding them had begun to fragment, creating discordant ripples in the fabric of reality itself. She watched in horror as the carefully maintained quantum fields they used for training became unstable, threatening to collapse. "Evacuate the facility," she ordered, already moving to the main quantum interface station. "Get everyone out except the senior researchers." As the trainees filed out, Elena opened her mind to the quantum patterns, trying to make sense of the chaos she was witnessing. The quantum chorus's presence flickered through the disruption, their usually clear communications fragmented and distorted. But what came through was clear enough. It begins sooner than calculated. The convergence accelerates. "That's impossible," Dr. Thor protested, his form now physically present beside her. The calculations showed we had months before the convergence would begin. Your quantum chorus assured us. Reality doesn't care about our calculations, Elena interrupted, her hands flying over the interface controls. We need to contact every research facility in the galaxy. If this is happening here, it's happening everywhere. Reports began flooding in from across known space. On thousands of worlds, the quantum patterns that humans had only recently learned to perceive were becoming visible even to species that normally couldn't see them, but not in the harmonious way humans experienced them. Instead, reality itself seemed to be cracking, quantum and classical physics colliding in ways that defied the fundamental laws of the universe. In the Galactic Council's emergency session, the full scope of the crisis became clear. High Counselor Vexra's image flickered as communication systems throughout the galaxy began to fail. We're losing containment on artificial gravity systems in the Orion sector, one representative reported. Quantum fluctuations are affecting fundamental forces at random intervals. The hyperspace lanes are becoming unstable, another added. We've already lost contact with 3 colony worlds. Elena stood before them, her mind racing as she processed both the verbal reports and the quantum chaos she could perceive. The patterns weren't just breaking down. They were transforming into something new, something that threatened to tear apart the very fabric of space-time. The quantum chorus was right, she announced, her voice cutting through the panic. This is the convergence they warned us about. But it's not just quantum and classical reality merging. It's every layer of existence collapsing into a single point of chaos. Can it be stopped? Vexra demanded. Elena closed her eyes, reaching out to the fragments of the quantum chorus that still maintained coherence. The answer came not in words but in pure understanding, and it chilled her to her core. No, she replied, opening her eyes. It can't be stopped, but it can be guided. The chorus has been preparing us for this. Preparing humans specifically. We don't just perceive quantum patterns, we can interact with them, shape them. And now we need to shape the very nature of reality itself. That's insane, one of the council members protested. You're talking about reorganizing the fundamental structure of the universe. We're talking about survival, Elena corrected. Every quantum-sensitive human we've trained, every facility we've established, they weren't just for communication. They were preparation for this moment. We need to establish a network of human consciousness across the galaxy, using our unique ability to perceive and influence quantum patterns to guide this convergence toward a new stable state. And if we fail? Dr. Thor asked quietly. Elena gestured to the chaos visible outside the council chamber's windows, where space itself seemed to be tearing apart. If we fail, there won't be a galaxy left to save. We need every human with quantum sensitivity, every piece of technology we've developed, and every resource the Council can provide. And we need them now. As if to emphasize her words, a massive quantum surge rippled through the chamber, causing the very air to shimmer with impossible energies. In that moment, Elena felt the full weight of what humanity had evolved to become. Not just observers of the universe's deepest patterns, but active participants in its reformation. The time for preparation was over. The real test of humanity's gift was about to begin. Adaptation. The quantum synchronization chamber aboard the Galactic Council's flagship hummed with energy as Elena connected her mind to the network of human consciousness spanning the galaxy. Around her, 300 quantum-sensitive humans lay in similar chambers, their minds linked through a combination of advanced alien technology and their unique neural architecture. Neural synchronization at 87% and climbing, Dr. Thor reported, his crystalline form now permanently shifted to the deep purple of intense concentration. Quantum field harmonics are unusual. I've never seen patterns like these. Elena barely heard him. Her consciousness had expanded far beyond the chamber, merging with the collective awareness of humanity's quantum sensitives. Through their shared perception, she could see the true scope of what they faced. The convergence wasn't just affecting visible space, It was reshaping the fundamental forces that held reality together. "Show me the areas of greatest instability," she requested, her voice echoing strangely as hundreds of linked minds spoke through her. The holographic display shifted, showing hotspots where quantum and classical reality were colliding most violently. But through their enhanced perception, the linked humans could see something the instruments couldn't: patterns within the chaos, a hidden order trying to emerge. "It's like watching a butterfly break out of its chrysalis," one of the linked minds observed. "Reality isn't being destroyed, it's transforming." "But the process is too violent," another added. "The fabric of space-time can't handle the stress. We need to smooth the transition somehow." Elena felt the quantum chorus's presence brush against their collective consciousness, stronger now that so many human minds were linked together. Their message came through with crystal clarity. "You understand. Reality seeks a new form, but the path must be guided. This is why you evolved as you did." Through their shared awareness, Elena and the other humans began to grasp the true nature of their gift. Human consciousness, with its unique ability to perceive and adapt to patterns, had evolved specifically for this moment. They weren't just passive observers of quantum phenomena. They were meant to be midwives to a new form of reality. "Everyone," Elena projected through the neural link, "stop trying to fight the quantum distortions. Instead, feel how they want to move. Like conducting an orchestra rather than building a wall." The shift in approach was immediate and dramatic. Rather than attempting to contain or suppress the quantum chaos, the linked human minds began to work in harmony with it. They used their shared consciousness to identify the natural flows and patterns within the convergence, gently guiding them toward stability rather than trying to force them. Dr. Zaxthor watched in amazement as the quantum field readings began to stabilize. "The convergence isn't slowing," he noted, "but it's becoming more coherent, more structured." "How are you doing this?" "We're not doing it," Elena replied, her voice carrying the weight of hundreds of linked minds. "We're just helping it happen naturally. The universe knows what it wants to become. We're just easing the transition." But even as they made progress, new challenges emerged. The strain of maintaining such deep quantum connection was taking its toll on the human sensitives. Elena could feel minds beginning to flicker in the network, exhaustion setting in as they worked to guide the massive energies of universal transformation. "We need to rotate teams," she announced, feeling the fatigue in her own consciousness. "We can't maintain this level off." Her words cut off as a massive quantum surge ripped through the network. Through their linked awareness, every human sensitive felt it, a fundamental shift in the fabric of reality itself. The quantum chorus's presence flared with unprecedented intensity. "The final phase approaches," they communicated. "The moment of transformation is near, but be warned. The greatest challenge still awaits. The path between what was and what will be is treacherous, and your kind must light the way." As the surge subsided, Elena and her fellow humans were left with a profound understanding. They weren't just trying to prevent the collapse of reality. They were helping to birth a new form of existence, one where quantum and classical states could coexist in harmony. But the process was far from complete, and the hardest part still lay ahead. "How long can we maintain the network?" Dr. Zaxthor asked, noting the signs of strain in the human sensitives. Elena checked the quantum readings, feeling the increasing pressure of the convergence. "Long enough," she replied with determination. "We have to be. The entire galaxy is counting on us, even if they don't know it yet." As if in response to her words, another ripple of quantum distortion washed through space, stronger than any before. The time of transformation was approaching, and humanity would need every ounce of their unique ability to ensure the galaxy survived what was coming. Transformation. Time had lost all meaning in the quantum synchronization network. Elena couldn't tell if hours or days had passed since they'd begun guiding the convergence. The linked consciousness of hundreds of human sensitives had become a singular entity, their shared awareness extending across the galaxy as they worked to shepherd reality through its metamorphosis. "Commander," Dr. Thor's voice seemed to come from a great distance. The quantum readings are approaching critical threshold. We're seeing things that should be impossible. Elena opened her eyes, maintaining her connection to the network while focusing part of her awareness on the physical world. The view outside the station's windows defied description. Space itself had taken on an opalescent quality, quantum and classical states overlapping in ways that made reality shimmer like sunlight on water. "Not impossible," she replied, her voice carrying the harmonic resonance of the linked minds. "Just new. We're witnessing the birth of something that's never existed before." Through their expanded consciousness, the human network could perceive the true scope of what was happening. The universe wasn't just changing, it was evolving, guided by their collective understanding of both quantum and classical states. The quantum chorus's presence wove through their awareness, their ancient knowledge merging with humanity's unique perspective. "The moment approaches," the chorus communicated. "The threshold between what was and what will be. You must guide the transformation through its final phase. But be warned. The energies involved will test the limits of your ability to perceive and direct them." As if in response to their warning, a massive quantum surge rippled through space-time. Elena felt several minds in the network flicker, overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of the energies they were channeling. But instead of breaking the connection, something remarkable happened. The gaps in the network were instantly filled by new consciousness. Humans who hadn't previously shown quantum sensitivity suddenly awakening to their potential. Through their shared awareness, Elena understood. The pressure of the convergence was accelerating human evolution, awakening latent abilities in those who had been on the edge of quantum perception. "The network is expanding exponentially," Dr. Thor reported, his crystalline form flickering with excitement. "We're registering new quantum-sensitive humans activating across the galaxy. It's like watching a chain reaction of consciousness." Elena felt it happening. Thousands of new minds joining the network, each bringing their own unique perspective to the collective understanding. Artists saw patterns in the quantum flows that scientists had missed. Musicians felt rhythms in the convergence that mathematicians could calculate but not fully grasp. Children, their minds still flexible and unburdened by preconceptions, provided insights that transformed their understanding of what was possible. This is what the chorus meant, Elena realized, the knowledge flowing through the expanded network. Humanity didn't just evolve the ability to perceive quantum patterns, we evolved the ability to adapt, to grow, to transform ourselves as reality transforms around us. The final surge began to build, more powerful than anything they'd encountered before. Through their linked consciousness, every human in the network could feel the universe poised on the edge of transformation. The quantum chorus's presence intensified, their ancient wisdom merging with humanity's fresh perspective. Now, they communicated, guide the transformation, show reality the path to its new form. Working in perfect harmony, the human network began to weave quantum and classical states together. They didn't fight the energies of transformation. They became part of them, using their unique consciousness to smooth the transition between states of existence. Through their shared perception, they could see the new form of reality taking shape, one where quantum and classical aspects enhanced rather than opposed each other. The surge reached its peak, and for a moment that seemed to last an eternity, every human in the network experienced perfect clarity. They could see the universe as it truly was, not as separate states of quantum and classical existence, but as a singular, unified whole that they had always been part of, but never fully perceived until now. When the light faded and normal perception returned, the galaxy had changed. The quantum patterns that only humans had been able to see were now visible to all species, but in a controlled, stable way that enhanced rather than disrupted classical reality. The quantum chorus's presence had transformed as well, becoming a permanent part of the new universal fabric that humans had helped create. Dr. Thor's readings confirmed what they could all see. The convergence was complete. Reality had transformed into something new. A hybrid state where quantum and classical physics worked in harmony rather than opposition. And humanity, through their unique ability to adapt and perceive patterns in chaos, had helped guide that transformation. "We did it," Elena whispered, feeling the network of human consciousness gradually dissolving as individual minds returned to their normal state of awareness. But they were changed by the experience, carrying with them a deep understanding of their place in the universe. The quantum chorus's final message resonated through their minds. This is not an ending, but a beginning. Humanity's gift will be needed again as reality continues to evolve. You are not just observers or guides. You are the bridge between what is and what can be. The galaxy's transformation has only begun. As Elena looked out at the transformed galaxy, she understood the truth of their words. Humanity's greatest gift wasn't just their ability to perceive quantum patterns or guide cosmic transformations. It was their capacity to adapt, to grow, to see possibility where others saw chaos. They had helped the universe take its next evolutionary step, but more importantly, they had evolved along with it.